Hello and welcome to WhatVape, and today we're looking at what could be the best kit for you as a new or early vapor. The iStick 60-watt temperature control with the Kangertech Subtank on the top of it. Now let's have a closer look and we can decide why this might be the device and the tank for you. Okay, so what does this have that a lot of other mods have? Now, first of all, the thing I like about this setup is that the 60 watts allow you to continue to use this kit for a long time in your vaping. Now let's take the tank off, open it up and have a look to see why I think this tank is awesome for a new vapor. Right. That's the drip tip off. Take the base off, I want it out for a second. There's the tank. To fill it, you simply unscrew and you fill down the side of the chimney, making sure you do not fill it above that chimney. This is a rebuildable head. Now, you may be in a position where you do not want to start building, which is perfectly fine. However, at some point you may decide that you do not want to buy stock coils to save yourself some money, and this tank has a singular advantage, that it has a rebuildable head that is quite reasonable and very easy to build on, and you can also buy stock coils. To use the stock coils, you just simply take your coil, you put juice into this hole here, and into there. You screw it onto the base like thus. Ooh, without dropping it. You fill the tank with juice up until the chimney. You screw the tank together, turn it right side up, and then leave it for about a minute or two. Let the juice get into that coil, and that works perfectly as a fairly low powered, low requirement tank. Now there are some great sub-ohm tanks, but I will say that a lot of them require quite a lot of power. Now the reason I like using the Kangertech Subtank is because it requires very little power to run it, which means your 18650 mod, your single 18650 mod in this case, does not run out of power. Now the other option for a mod might be the iStick 100 watts, which is larger, requires two 18650s. There is a charge port at the bottom with pass-through charging, which means you can plug it into the charger and vape on it while it's charging. Now it does take an 18650. Now I quite like having these mods with a separate 18650. The reason being that once it has run out of power, you can have a second 18650 ready to plug in it while you are out and about. Put that back in again. Now the iStick 60 watt temperature control has the ability to run almost, well, the greater majority of mods. However, as I say, having a tank like this will allow you to run the tank for a long time with the single 18650. Now, whatever else can I say about this? Now, this does have temperature control. Now, personally, I do not find I need to use temperature control for the majority of the times, and I would say there isn't much point in using it. But that depends on you. Now, to change into temperature control, you just press this small, nifty little button here. You can see there's the temperature, and then the different metal selections, and then back to the wattage. Now this is not, as far as I'm aware, firmware upgradable. What you have is what you've got. Let's plug this back together. Go back up top, give it a vape, and I'll give you my last conclusions. Alright, it's on 30 watts, 0.38 coil. It's a good idea if I open the airflow. As you can see, if you have it set up in a certain way, it can produce a great deal of vapor. Now, as a new vapor, I would recommend, if you bought this setup, that you get the 1.5 ohm resistance coils. Now, if you're just starting out, there isn't a great deal you need to know about ohmage, apart from the higher the ohms, the less the vapor, the lower the wattage, and that's it. So you probably don't want to chuck huge clouds, so I'd say go for the 1.5 ohm coils, and I think you'll have a fantastic time with this setup. Now, you may decide you want something a bit smaller, and something like this might be more suitable for you. This is the Ego AO. I've not done a review on it yet. I've not opened it yet. I'm going to do an unboxing and a short review on it. I do not expect that to take very long to do. It should be up in the next week. But the thing with the AO and similar starting kits is that you are buying into a very limited shelf life as far as the product goes for you. Not everybody. Some people may use an Ego 1 for many years, maybe are still on their little twisters. But on the whole, a lot of people will buy a basic setup, vape that for a month or two, and then decide either that it's not powerful enough for them, so they go back to smoking, or they decide they want something better. Now, if I was to tell you that this setup would only cost you around, I think it's about £50, which is about $80 compared to a packet of 200 fags, this is not a bad price at all, and you're not looking to replace this within about a month or two. This could keep you quite happy for quite a period of time. The only thing you would need to buy is the coils, which you'd need to buy for any tank that you wanted to buy, and maybe a second 18650 battery. Now, as a point of safety, I must say this: you cannot use a torch battery in an e-cigarette. The ampage discharge doesn't necessarily mean that I have to make sense, but the ampage discharge has to be a max peak of 35 amps or above for almost all builds. So always buy 18650s that state that they are 35 amp or above. eFests, Sony's, there's a whole range of batteries that you can get. If you just go to Amazon and just type in 35A 18650, you'll see there's an absolute plethora of batteries you can use that are safe for vaping. Just make sure you pick up one of those and not grab something out your flashlight. Anyway, this is WhatVape signing out. Have a great night.